Movement and sound in poetry. Poetry is sometimes defined as a movement of sound. The earliest known poetry was probably the Sumerian epic of Gilgamesh. The Greeks discussed poetry in terms of rhythm and metrical structure. However, in this video, we will focus on some of the sound devices in poetry, and they include syllable, foot, meter, and rhyme. We won't delve deeply into rhythm because we had discussed that in one of our earliest videos. Apart from rhythm and rhyme, syllable, foot, and meter are closely related aspects of poetry and are also the primary co-determinants of sound and movement. For you to understand foot and meter, which are important bases in the analysis of a poem, you must first understand the syllable, which is a principal defining factor in both. So, what are our objectives in this video? The next section tells us. So, keep watching. Rhyme. A rhyme is a repetition of the same sound or letter in a line or lines of a poem. Traditionally, rhyme is the sameness of sound existing between syllables or words within a line or between lines. What this implies is that there can be a rhyme correspondence between words in a line, and there can also be the same between words in two or more lines within a stanza. Now, let's consider an example of a rhymed verse. Where is the sun, the moon, and all the stars that shine? Where is love, hope, and life? With the example just listed above, you will understand that rhyme in poetry is the correspondence existing between two syllables in two poetic lines. In this instance, the vowel sound in the syllable in one line sounds like the vowel sound in the syllable of the other line, as we have in shine and life. Rhyme make lines of poetry sound more interesting by making the end of one line match the beginning of another. Let us study the stanza below, taken from the poem The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. In the poem, the last word in the first line rhymes with the last word in the second line. Thus we have, darkness settles on the roofs and walls, but the sea in the darkness calls. However, some of the poems which do not have rhymes are still acknowledged as great poetic pieces. Rhymes connect the lines of a poem and so add to movement in a poem. Syllable. In poetry, syllables are the smallest units of sound in words. The most common English syllable is the monosyllabic one, made up of consonants and a vowel. Example, come, or with just a vowel as in I, ear, a. Don't get it twisted. The words I, ear, and a has just one vowel. The letters in the words represent three different diphthongs in phonetics. I transcribed as I, as we have there on the screen. Ear transcribed as ear, as we have there on the screen. And transcribed as air in British English as well, all on the screen. Each syllable has two parts. One part is a single vowel sound and the other part is a consonant sound. Thus, we can say that a syllable is a combination of consonant and vowel, and sometimes we have just a vowel sound. Types of syllable. Our definition shows that there are different types of words based on the number of syllables contained in each. A word can contain 1, 2, or more syllables. Consequently, there are single-syllabic words like at, tail, bite. They are made up of only one vowel sound. There are also multisyllabic words that are constituted by 2 or more syllables. These include words like ahead, teacher, wonderful, vegetable, association, and indispensable. Words are classified according to the number of syllables each contain, as illustrated below. Monosyllabic. Words with one syllable. They include dog, car, at. Disyllabic. Words with 2 syllables. Examples: poem, hotel, learned. Trisyllabic. Words with 3 syllables. Example: poetry, beautiful, edible. Polysyllabic, also known as multisyllabic. Words with more than 3 syllables. Examples: Mississippi, indomitability. Yes. Stress and unstressed syllables. Do you know that in the English language, some syllables are stressed while others are not? That is why there are stressed and unstressed syllables. However, you must understand that technically, every syllable is produced with a measure of stress if it must be heard. This means that the difference between stressed and unstressed syllables is the degree of stress or degree of loudness. Abrams explains that stressed syllable is the relatively stronger stressed syllable, while the unstressed or light is the relatively weaker stressed syllable. Stressed syllable is also called accented syllable, while an unstressed is termed as unaccented syllable. Note that syllables with greater stress are called long, strong, heavy, or stressed syllables, while syllables with lesser stress are referred to as short, light, or unstressed syllables. Based on duration, stressed syllables are longer, while unstressed syllables are shorter. This means that one or more syllables of every word that consists of one syllable are stressed or accented. In pronunciation, the stressed syllable is accorded more prominence than the unaccented or unstressed syllables. Let us use the words ahead, pronounced as ahead, and wonderful, pronounced as wonderful. In the two words, or we say in the first word I heard, the first syllable being letter A is pronounced slower or lower than the second syllable head. Something applicable to the second word, wonderful. The second syllable in the disyllabic word I heard is stressed, while the first syllable of the trisyllabic word wonderful is stressed too. The stressed syllables are written in capital letters in the following words: yours today, today, tomorrow, complete, intervene. Again, in a sentence which is naturally made up of words, given words and syllables are accorded more stress in relation to others co-occurring in the same sentence structure. For instance, she ran to the shop. Dan is driving his car. The stressed syllables or words are represented in capital letters as we have there on the screen. Try pronouncing the words above. As you do, observe the difference between the stressed and unstressed syllables. Foot. Foot is a unit of stressed and unstressed syllable. It usually contains one stressed syllable and at least one unstressed syllable. Types of feet in poetry. English poetry consists of several metrical feet, and the basic types are I am. I am is a succession of one unstressed syllable followed by a stressed syllable. Example: one day, the sun, recall, beheld. Trochee. Trochee is a succession of one stressed syllable followed by one unstressed syllable. Example: speak in, highway, garden. We have there on the screen. Anapest. Anapest is a succession of two unstressed syllables followed by one stressed syllable. Example: on the road, as it were. Dactyl. Dactyl is a succession of one stressed syllable followed by two unstressed syllables. Example: fortunate, good for you. Amphibrach. Amphibrach has unstressed syllable followed by stressed syllable, then finally unstressed syllable. That means one unstressed followed by one stressed and succeeded by one unstressed syllable. Example: spoil something, for breakfast. I'll leave now. The stressed syllables in these examples are written in capital letter. We have them on the screen. Spandy. Spandy contain two stressed syllables. Alone. Example: downtown. Hopkins' Pied Beauty has this kind of foot. Gerald Hopkins wrote his poem in praise of God for having created all things beautiful on earth. In these, the final lines, the poet makes heavy use of spondies to create a feeling of growing excitement. The example on the screen: with swift, slow, sweet sough, a dazzle dim. His father's forth whose beauty is past change. Praise him. Furic. Furic has two unstressed syllables alone. Meter. Meter refers to the number of feet in a line of poetry. So, we can say that one metrical foot, for example, good for you, is an example of 1 foot, and it is equals to 1 meter. Thus, we can say that good for you, if found in isolation, is an example of dactyl monometer. Types of meter in poetry. A type of meter is determined by the number of recurring feet in each line of a poem. The examples below signify the number of stressed syllables in a line, and the number of stressed syllables determines the type of meter. So we can say that the number of stressed syllables in a particular feat determines the type of meter we are discussing. Before then, remember that the presence of a straight syllable makes a foot. Let's consider this. Monometer comprises 1 metrical foot. Diameter comprises 2 metrical feet. Trimeter comprises 3 metrical feet. Tetrameter comprises 4 metrical feet. Pentameter comprises 5 metrical feet. Hexameter comprises 6 metrical feet. Heptameter comprises 7 metrical feet. Octameter comprises 8 metrical feet. The names are derived from Greek prefixes and indicate the number of feet in each line. Thus, a poem that has 6 poetic feet in each line is written in hexameter. Hexameter means 6 in Greek. A meter that consists of 5 iambs per line is classified as an iambic pentameter. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any question in relation to what you have discussed today, please kindly drop a comment on the section below. And finally, do not forget to share this content on all social media platforms. See you in the next video. Bye.